Anytime that you need me, baby girl, we've been through it all. I need to know you'll be right there for me. I'll be there. Other girls don't matter. You're my soulmate, you should know. Only death can stop me. You'll be here for me, and I'll be here for you. Anytime that you need me, baby girl, we've been through it all. I need to know you'll be right there for me. I'll be there. Other girls don't matter. You're my soulmate, you should know. Only death can stop me. You'll be here for me, and I'll be here for you. Anytime that you need me, baby girl, we've been through it all. I need to know you'll be right there for me. I'll be there. Other girls don't matter. You're my soulmate, you should know. Only death can stop me. You'll be here for me, and I'll be here for you.
Today we're going to do a magazine. We're doing BMX Action Magazine. This one's going to be April 1986. On the cover of this one, we got Chicken George Seaver. He was riding on a factory CW. The frame color of the bike's actually pretty cool. It's kind of like this violet colored purple bike. It looks really cool, and I love the CW colors from that era, by the way, guys. It's really awesome. What they said about the cover here is his cover kids are rare. Steve Skibble got the February 78 edition of Bicycle Motocross Action. It was before it was called BMX Action. He was 10 years old, fast. Jason Jensen got the cover April 1981. He was only 9 years old. And here's one of the quickest 11-year-olds in BMX today, Chicken George Seavers, photo by Steve Giberson. Gibby got that one. So that's really cool. We're going to go through the magazine now and see what we got. This is a small magazine. It is my lunch hour. I got about 30 minutes left, so we're going to try to race through this one and see if we can get through it. See you guys in there. So this is, again, April 1986. We got our Dear Gork. We got Racing NBL Cyclecraft Christmas National, Columbus, Ohio. I believe they call that the Christmas Classic. We got Dirt, Beginner Special, Go Home or Go Race or Go Home. That sounds pretty cool. BMX Action 1986 US Track Directory. Maybe we can thumb through some of those and find my local tracks from that time. We're testing the 86 Kuwahara Nova. It's actually kind of a pastel colored bike. It's pretty cool looking. It's not, probably wouldn't have been something I would have chose, but it's really cool. We got the Freestyle How-To pedal picker, outtakes, and then finally we talked about the cover. So let's get busy. Let's see what's on the inside cover. Actually, before we go into it, I noticed here, let me turn this around. Sorry, guys. This was actually on the inside cover of the magazine, and this is the Haro Group 1. And this is the exact bike that my mom got me back in the day. And there was a few, I talked about this before, there's some slight changes on it. These pedals were not on the bike. I had Sun Tour bear traps on there. This was pretty much, the crank setup was pretty much the same. The bars were shaped like this, but they were chrome. I'm sorry, they were not chrome. They were blue to match the frame. It did come with the laid back seat post, but I went with a straight seat post. I took off the Dominator seat and I went with a black Cashamac seat instead. And then I raced this bike only one time. I cased a set of doubles and I cracked these cranks. So eventually what I did was I replaced these cranks and we put profiles on there. But other than that, other than the seat post, the seat, the cranks, let's see, the pedals were different. Oh, shoot. And I even changed the grips. The grips were white. So using white grips on a BMX bike, race bike is just not a good combination because they got dirty almost immediately. So I went with the black Amy Tri. So I did make some subtle changes to make it mine. But this overall, guys, one of my favorite bikes of all time. I really, really liked it. I'll try to attach a photo of me on the bike as well. Okay, let's get moving. Okay, we already looked at the inside cover. All right, we got the GT ad, full page ad here. Whoops, sorry guys, hit the camera. I was watching Rad BMX builds this morning, and actually it was running while I was working, and I love watching Rad BMX builds. and I was checking out what was going on. Sean built a purple GT, and I don't know. I think it was a Team Series or Pro Series. I can't recall the model. It might have been prior to these models, by the way, but it was amazing. He had it powder coated in purple, and when he first put it together, he had black Skyway Tough Wheel 2s on there, and it looked sick. I loved it. I'm like, oh, he finally put tough wheels on one of the bikes, and that was not like a Skyway. And then he took them off and he put the rims back on. And then I looked and I go, damn, I like the rims even better. So I love watching his channel. Again, it's Rad BMX Builds. He does such great builds. And the guy's been knocking out videos damn near every day. So I watch him just about daily now, or at least a couple times a week. Anyway, great ad for GT. Let's keep on moving. Okay, this is a pretty big ad here for Lychee, and it looks like they're focusing more on the freestyle colors. A lot of these pastel colors would have been more or less tuned for freestyle bikes. Race bikes are more business. Your chromes, your blacks, your reds, your golds, your blues. So this is more or less a freestyle look. Unless you really wanted to do something like that, you obviously could. All right, let's keep on rolling. All right, we got Dear Gork, and this is a great ad with Redline. This is one of my favorite kits with Redline. These gray Vans that RL's wearing right here, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I owned a pair of these gray Vans, and it was right around this time, because 1986, I was probably sophomore in high school, and I guarantee you I had those Vans. I remember buying them, and I thought, God, these things look super cool with my Levi 501s. Anyway, this is a great kit. Love the frame and fork. Love the Peregrine wheels. For a freestyle bike, I love it. And I'm not really a freestyle guy. Let's read some Dear Gork. Okay, this is going to come from Gonzo, Transpo, and Cool Wells. Dear Gork, I have a GT, and everything I have is GT. Me and my friends would like to know what GT stands for. I just thought it would be nice to know since I buy all their products. And that came from Paul Manzares from Salt Lake City, Utah. And then he says, Dear Gork, also what does CW stand for? And that was from, actually this is a different letter. Dear Gork, what does CW stand for? That came from Brian Tolliver in Euless, Texas. So Gork just answered both these guys. GT stands for Gary Turner. He owns the place. CW originally stood for Coast Wheels. Roger Warsham's bike shop. Roger then started a mail order company later on, the CW Factory. CW now stands for Custom Works. Gork. Pretty cool. I knew about GT. I wasn't quite sure about CW. For some reason, I thought it was California Works for some reason, so I was wrong. So that's good to know. Let's read the next one. Locals only. Dear Gork, I think your local trashing section was totally cool. Could you please keep printing it? Keep on printing it. And that was from Steve Hull at Jacksonville, Florida. And let's see what Gork says. Glad you liked it. We'll keep on doing it until we run out of areas. Keep sending stuff on personal thrashing zones to BMXA, care of local trashing. And that was out in Torrance, California. That's really cool. Let's do one more. Let's see. Dear Gork, I'm mad. Me and my friends have built 3 tracks in 2 years, and now they're all gone because people are building homes on them. I say we have a nationwide strike, and that was from Awesome Amy Murakami from Odenton, Maryland. And then Gork just says, I'll bring my nose so I can pick it. Sorry, Gork. Let's face it, when you're building trails somewhere on a piece of property that you don't own, the chances of it staying there long term is probably not very good. There's been a couple places where I used to ride back in the day, Red Devil in Union City, and then there was Treeview in Hayward, California. There was also the Eden BMX track in Hayward, California. All 3 of those were my practice zones, and unfortunately, all 3 got leveled eventually. But I got good use out of them. By the time those things got knocked down, I was pretty much not even living out there and riding out there. So still, I understand the feeling. Sorry about that, Amy. Let's keep going. Great shot of RL again. This time he's sporting the Peregrine 48s as opposed to the mag style wheel. We got a good ad here from Flight. Look at all the pastel colors, guys. Like I said, 1986 neons and pastels, and man, RL's all over the place. 1986 Redline, simply awesome. And here's your race bikes. You got the 800p, 600 CXL, and then after that it's all freestyle. Oh, no, 500C. So we got 3 race bikes and at least 3 different freestyle bikes as well. This looks really cool. You got the RL20, RL20A, and then the RL22, which is the top of the line bike that RL's standing there with right there. So that's really cool. Here we go. This is the Ohio NBL Cyclecraft National. The #1 plates are out in force. All these photos are by Wendy. This is a great shot. And I always love this like blurred effect, which I've mentioned in other videos. I think this looks really cool. And this is NBL's Big Cheese, the 17 cruiser class. It says Judd Ciancio was sporting the latest in #1s on his plate. Judd had jammed in for another first in 17 cruiser and didn't do too shabby in class. Second across the line. Brad Birdwell, Dean LeBurge, and Kevin Hull also dominated their cruiser classes. So what else is new is what he says. Really cool. Oh, look at this one, guys. These shots are amazing. Look at this. We got Tommy Brackens, Greg Hill, Harry Larry, and then, ooh, look at this one. Lawin Cunningham, 13 expert. He won, let's see. Oh, he doubled. He won 13 expert in 12-13 open. Great shot of Gary Ellis. This is during a race. Gary's getting a little crossed up over this section right here. This is a super clean shot. Gary Ellis probably will be one of the most serious contenders this year for the #1 title in the NBL or ABA. See that #1 on his plate? World champion, right? Well, Greg Hill, who was running his national #1 NBL, was a bit on the unhappy side because they let Gary run the one in Ohio. In the past, when Greg had won the national had won the same #1 from the world champs in 82, 83, and 84, the NBL wouldn't let him run it. We don't expect Gary will get to run it in the next race. Oh, wow. So basically, Greg was saying, hey, I'm actually the national champ. I should be running the #1. This is a world title plate that they did not let Greg run previously. So I can understand why he'd be a little peeved by that. That makes sense. What do we got down here? We got 16 cruiser class, Jim Leach, number 91. Well, it should be 19, I'm assuming. Oh, no, that's 91. There you go. Doing it to it like Pruitt used to do it. Ron Walker did it in the main, though. So I'm wondering I don't think Ron Walker's pictured in here, but these are great shots, 16 cruiser. I was 16 at the time, too, so these guys would have smoked my ass. All right, let's keep going. What a shot here. Tommy Bracken's doing double time, first in pro money and first in pro open. He doubled. Wow. Tommy's looking great. Factory GT. We got Gary back here, Factory Huffy, which will eventually will go to GT. Eddie King doing it for Factory Diamondback, and I want to say it's Matt Harris back there for MCS. So that's a great shot. Oh, look at this one. Here we go. A-Pro. First moto, second turn, freshly watered track. Hill and Miranda out front. We're talking full speed, pitch it sideways, drag your leg, and pray you come out alive racing here. Miranda ended up buying the farm. Hill was alive and kicking. I just talked to Mike this week. I took out a magazine that Mike's on the cover of, and I actually already reviewed that magazine. He's on Factory Torquer, and it's a great shot of Mike. I reached out to Mike. I go, hey, if I ship this to you, would you mind autographing it? And Mike, without hesitation, said he would. So thank you very much, Mike. That magazine is on the way. It probably is going to be hitting his house today. I sent it out a few days ago. So once he gets it, he's going to autograph it, send it back to me, and of course I'll include it in the next upcoming video. So I'm really excited about that. We got Rich Hutchins Jr. running the team. Steve Giberson, or our not long forgotten ex-BMXA editor, is helping Hutch out with the photos and ads, and they just picked up nearly a whole new team for 1986. The new arrivals are Eric Carter, Charles Townsend, and Robert Zanow. The only dude on the team not to abandon ship or walk the plank besides Mike Miranda is this little guy, Rocket Richard Houseman. Wow, that's a great shot. He actually, let's see, what did he do in this race? He won 7 expert, 7 and under open, so he doubled. Great job. Let's keep moving. All right, we got another great race shot here. These are such great shots. This guy is one of the Illinois pride and joy, Dan Wiley, 6 behind Lonnie Tatton in 15X. That's really cool. We got another great Titan rider here. It just says here, he'll grow into the helmet someday, Dad. Yeah, it's a really big helmet. Great shot of Mike King here, Factory Huffy. What happened with Mike? Talk was going around that Mike is looking for a bigger #1 plate to fit all his co-sponsors. Must be tough, huh, Mikey? 16-year-old Billboard went away with Ohio with 2 seconds, which ain't too bad considering that right now the 16 and over open class is just as exciting to watch as the pros. That is crazy. It's overflowing with the hottest riders along with Mike. There's Charles Townsend, who took who took the first in Awesome Open and ended up doubling with his 18 and over expert win. Doug Davis, a third in Open. Jameson Hendler, only a fifth in Open, but first in 16X. Just to name a few, all these guys really that killer? Well, in the immortal words of Ronnie Anderson, believe it. So, man, that was a stacked AM class going into. These guys are all on the verge of turning pro. Let's take a look at some of the results here. 8 Pro was won by Tommy Brackens, got the win. Greg Hill with the second. Richie Anderson third. Harry Larry, Ronnie Anderson, Gary Ellis, Eddie King, and Matt Harris. Pro Cruiser was won by Greg Hill. Neil Allen, Matt Harris, Jim Carabia, Ken Amon, Rusty Cable, Wayne McFarger, and Michael Gage. Pro Award, also known as Pro Open, Tommy Brackens got that one with the double, Ronnie Anderson and Gary Ellis. Very cool. B Pro was won by Vince Ashbury, Neil Allen, and Ed Bauer. In the Pro Girls class, Tammy Willever won that one. Jeannie Robertson and Kathy Strachel. Very cool. Very cool. I don't have time to read all the results, but that looks really good. Speaking of which, what's the time, guys? We're good. We're good. We're going to get through this. Great ad from TNT here. We got the stem, the hubs. Those hubs are crazy looking. Those are cool axle pegs, which is strange to see from TNT because I think of TNT as just like a full-on race team. We got some dirt here. Let's take a look at what's going on. Diamondback Team Situations 1986. It says we're getting sick of rumors flying around about Diamondback not having a race team this year. Not true. Al Stonehouse, the man in charge of the DB team, gave us the update. They, the head honchos, have increased my budget more than last year, but will be paring down BMX slightly to emphasize freestyle. Boo. He also told us team manager Howard Wharton will no longer be traveling. And so Justin Green's right here. He was on Factory Diamondback. I actually remember that. Let's see. Big decisions. Redline or 09, amateur or pro. John Anderson's been doing a lot of thinking lately. Do you know that John's been on Redline for 6 years? That would be some kind of record, but we think Rod Beckering beats him out for a couple of years. And we got something here with Richie Anderson. Uncle Richie, seen here with his with the brother Ronnie's baby, is discussing things with Skyway, but not wearing their colors in the meantime. Ronnie is in the same status with 09. Very cool. Let's keep on going. Great ad here for Action BMX Cycle. Man, I love this. It's a big ad. Everything's clear and easy to read. This is great. Let's keep on going. Lots of freestyle stuff in there, though, guys. Go race or go home. Wow. Oh, check this out. Scottomania Beginner Special, your first BMX race. Now, this was written prior to this magazine because this came out of Bicycle Motocross Action. I'm not sure of the date of this, but we'll just read just a little bit of it, and let's see what he said in the first paragraph here. Bicycle Motocross, let's see. That must be some newfangled thingamajig you put on your bicycle to make it wheelie better, right? Wrong. Bicycle motocross, most commonly referred to as BMX, is a dazzling new sport for anybody that can ride a bicycle. Very true. It takes endurance to last through a day of rugged BMX racing. Coordination is needed to ride on the loose dirt surfaces. And most of all, BMX takes guts. I love the way he said that, and you can tell just by some of the lines how much the sport's changed because we don't race on loose dirt anymore. Let's read one more paragraph. But if you'll read on, I'll try to help you become a superstar pedal pusher. And so there's a whole lot here to read. Obviously, we're not going to read it all, but that's going to be a great read for me later. Let's go race or go home. Bikes are nothing for chicks for free. Just kidding. Ever dreamt of being a factory-sponsored BMXer like Tommy or Sean? Big money pics of your mug plastered all over the place, traveling all over the world, and all the stuff. Well, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock in BMX. Hours of training, everyday workouts at the gym, constant practice on your bike, consistently hot finishes at the race circuit. Worth it? Does Oakley make grips? Yeah, this is all the same. Now, I think the training from 1986 to what it is today is absolutely different. These guys really, they have personal trainers and all that good stuff. So things are a little bit different, but obviously these guys put in the work. Check it out. You can see what a factory rider looks like compared to like a beginner. And I'll tell you what, we all started off like this. Everybody started like this, sweatshirt, jeans. It's basically, this was the race uniform of all beginners. And then eventually you start to transform yourself into what you see here or a version of what you see here. I went through it. Virtually everybody I've known that's raced gone through it. And I'll tell you, one of the most intimidating things to do when you go to the BMX races for the first time is show up to the race lacking equipment and also riding a bike that's probably not the caliber of everybody else's. Everybody seems so fast. Everybody's friends. It's like you're on an island by yourself. It takes a lot of guts to go to a BMX track and try it for the first time. And I'm going to say that more than when I played baseball, little league, whatever you want to call it. Because when you go play baseball, you're in there with your whole entire team. Everybody's wearing the uniform. Everybody looks the same. Obviously people have more skill level than others, but I'm telling you, when I left baseball to pursue racing BMX, and it was a very, very humbling experience, but it was well worth it once you started looking like this. Hold on one second, guys. As my daughter was calling down to me, Dad, I'm home. I'm like, hold on, I'm doing a video. Hey, this is kind of cool. So what do we got over here? This is the ABA, NBL, and USBA. It says percentage of tracks that have beginner classes. All three were 100%. Beginners members deals. So you can pay $9 for a 45-day beginner seminar for this one. And then that's for the ABA. For NBL, $2 for 3 months. Wow, that's dirt cheap. And then USBA was $8 or $6 for 3 months. Now this is crazy because, hold on a minute. Let's go down. Those are for the beginner memberships. Full membership for a year. ABA was $22. NBL, $20. USBA, $22. I went to go renew my USA BMX membership. Now, granted, I haven't raced, guys, in almost 2 years. My mother got sick. My mother passed away. So my priorities shifted, and I just wasn't racing, and I was focusing on just doing my channel. But I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I want to race this summer. So I went to go renew my membership. $80 to renew my USA BMX membership. So you figure my first membership was with the ABA. It was $22 and now it's $80. Now, okay, I get it. They're going to add, you can race cruiser and you can race 20 on that membership. So that definitely is the difference. But the cruiser membership was only $12 here. So if you bought two, you were only looking at like $34. But it is what it is. It's a different time and age. Everything costs more money these days. This was 1986, for God's sakes. But anyway, let's move on. I digress. Oh, wait, let's see. Is membership mandatory to race novice class? Yes, in all three sanctions. Beginners become novice. Okay, so what that means is in order to go from the novice class to the intermediate class, that's what we would consider it now. You needed 5 firsts in the ABA. Now it's 10. You needed, every state set standards, usually 5 trophies. So you have to get podium at least 5 times in the NBL before you're going to move up to the intermediate. And USBA, you needed 5 firsts to move up. So that seems reasonable enough, To get 10 firsts, sometimes a little difficult, when you're an older rider, because sometimes you're just faced to race a bunch of experts locally. So sometimes it could take a little while to get to that level. But honestly, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But 10 firsts, I think that's reasonable. 5 firsts is reasonable. Let's keep moving. Local racing fees for the ABA can be $4 to $10 depending on the location, which I think right now, it's like $12. I think so. That hasn't really changed a whole lot. NBL, you can race locally for $5 to $6, and USBA was an average of $6. Amount of coverage. So insurance coverage. So with the ABA, you got $3,000 medical with $100 deductible. In NBL, $3,000 was covered with a $100 deductible. And the same thing here with USBA, $3,000 was covered with a $200 deductible. Thank you. Fortunately, as I raced BMX, yeah, I fell, got hurt a couple times, but nothing too major, thank goodness. Knock on, well, if there was wood here, I'd knock on it. But my parents always had medical insurance, so we never actually used that. Racing format. For the ABA, they did a transfer system. Tracks may petition for moto systems. Depends on. I guess it would really for the ABA. It really depended on the rider count. And if you were going to do total points or a transfer system, but the minute you were over 4 riders, it was definitely going to be transfer. MBL is a moto system, and then USBA transfer or moto system depends on the track. So they got to decide what they wanted to do. I think total points is cool, especially for riders now because you can get on the track and stay on the track more. If you're doing a transfer system, 1, 2, and out, and your day's over. And I realize that can get kind of expensive if you're going to a lot of races and you're not getting on the track a lot. So I like the total point system. Let's say they have information available. We don't really need to read that. And for more information, here's all their address information. It's pretty interesting stuff. All right, let's keep moving. Whoa, look at this. Okay, so this is the start, and we got Sean, Texas here on the top. And look at Sean's starting technique. Not bad. Not bad at all. Snapping out of the gate, no problem. I noticed that the gate is completely flat here, and Sean's still powering through. But it's not actually completely flat. You can see it's just about to hit the ground here. Now it's flat. So Sean's doing it correctly. He's leaving with the gate in motion. It's like when you're doing a gate start, the best way I can describe it is like hitting a baseball or hitting a golf ball perfectly. You just know when you did it perfect, because if I'm on the gate and I'm moving with the gate and I'm out, by the time that gate's flat, my back wheel's hitting it, I know that I did that snap perfectly. And I never even had a really good practice gate. I made one time, but it wasn't that great. But my starts have always been kind of my best, I think, my strength as a BMX racer, because I didn't have a lot of power. So I used to get outpowered a lot, but I was able to snap pretty quick. And if I can get to that first turn and hold my line, I usually did pretty well. So I definitely like this one. We got some speed jumping here with Tommy Brackens, as you can see here. He's got the wheel up here, and he's getting right up over the cross of the tabletop, and then his front wheel goes back down. Absolutely no air. We know it was figured out pretty early on that speed jumping was the fastest way around the track. And we also figured out pretty early on that if you're in the air, you're losing time. So although jumping looks awesome, it's not always the fastest way around the track. And that's something that I learned when I first started racing, because I thought there's a jump, you got to jump. Not necessarily, it depends on the type of jump. So speed jumping was definitely a real thing, and still is. Now it's really all about manualing and pumping. Okay. All right, so here's what the sanctions called the classes at the time. For the ABA, it was novice, intermediate, expert, A Pro, double A Pro. MBL calls it beginner, novice, expert, B Pro, A Pro. This is still the same for the ABA, USA BMX, but there is no A Pro, there is no B Pro. USBA calls it novice, advanced, expert, B Pro, A Pro. I like that, advanced. That sounds kind of cool. All right, let's keep on going. We got the West BMX ad. Great ad from Diamondback. Look at this. Again, all the pastel colors. Rick Palmer sitting right there, Harry, Larry, and the crew. Eddie King sitting right there, Doug Davis. This is a great, great shot of the team. And this is kind of like a Madonna-looking chick here with her Dalmatian. Very, very cool. BMX Action Magazine Nora Cup 1986 #1 team was Diamondback. They won it in 83, 84, 85, and 86. Big budget team, man. Factory Diamondback. Imagine being a kid racing for Diamondback. Born in the USA, MCS. Woo! That's an album cover steal right there. Not bad at all, though. Midwest BMX, we got some skateboard ads here. And then we got Hutch High Caliber. All the freestyle goodies you can get at the time. Don't like those wheels at all. Pedals are kind of goofy looking. But it is what it is. It was the 80s. We got a Hutch Pro Raider here. This is kind of your entry-level, mid-level race bike here. Nice bike, though. Well put together. Not much you need to do to it. Maybe go with the 3-piece crank, like we always say. Get rid of the front brake. It's totally raceable. How does the competition see the Hutch? We keep them on the trail. And that's a cool shot right there. All right, let's keep on going here. We'll keep them on our tail, excuse me. BMX Action 1986 US Track Directory. Let's take a look. Look at these suckers. 572 tracks, guys. You can tell me that BMX is dead. I'll slap you upside your head. Look hardcore proof here, folks. We're with every BMX track in the US of A listed here, hands, there's no excuse at all for not racing. You no longer can say, I don't know where the tracks are. You do now, but go race or go home with a little help from FTMO, Factory Teams Manufacturing Organization, and all the three major sanctions we have compiled with BMX Action. Now, so we're in 1986, we had 572 available tracks. I don't know, guys, what that count is today. I need to look that up because I'm kind of wondering what it is, but that's a lot of tracks, 572. So what we're going to do, rather than going through all of these, I'm just going to take a look at what was local to me back in 1986. We're going to run through these here real quick. Aha, Livermore BMX. I actually raced on that track. That was probably about a half hour from where I lived. Lodi BMX. I could have raced that, but I didn't. Lodi, I live near Lodi now. So I didn't even know there was a track in Lodi. Merced BMX. I raced on that track. They had Modesto BMX. Modesto's not far from where I am now. Morgan Hill BMX. That was near San Jose. Boy, I could have raced all those tracks. Mountain View Orion Park. I definitely raced that track. Napa Valley BMX. Still working today. That track still exists, and it was there back in 1986. And those are all the tracks that are relatively local. Let me keep going. Roseville, Oak Creek BMX. That's another track that's still working today. I could have got to that track, and I have raced there. More in my last run at Roseville probably was 2013. I raced there. Okay, but I went to the Summer Nationals there last summer. Let's take a look. So they also had Roseville Fairgrounds. That's weird. It's an independent track. It's not sanctioned. I didn't know that was there. Stockton BMX. I raced at Stockton. I live in Stockton. That track no longer exists. So that's really cool. I see everything. Now, it's missing the track that I actually, my local track, which would have been Sonol BMX. But I think in 1986, no, it was 1985, it was transitioning and it went, at one point, it went to the NBL and then went back to the ABA and then it was independent and then it went back to the ABA, it went all over the place. So in 1986, it should have been listed as an ABA track, but I'm not seeing it in these listings. But wow, there was quite a few places to go race in NorCal for me. All right, let's keep on going. Wow, look at all these tracks all the way to Rhode Island, Wyoming. We got the GT BMX World Tour Freestyle Team. That's a really cool ad. And then, oh, check it out. This is the Woodward ad. Learn to race from the winners at Woodward. That's really cool. Frankfurt BMX. Ooh, the Kuwahara Nova. It passed with flying colors. This is the bike we were talking about at the beginning of the magazine with the pastel colors. I like this Kuwahara kit. Do I like it more than the original? Maybe not, but that's still a really cool kit. This bike was $199. That's Cullinan getting busy. Look at the color sequence on this, guys. We got a lime green, or I guess you can call it kind of like a highlighter yellow. And we have the pastel blue wheels. And then everything else is lime green or lime yellow, whatever you want to call it. Fluorescent. Let's keep on going. Wow, look at this shot. This bike is all purple. No, this is all pink. This is sick. This is the pink and white Kuwahara that blew everyone's eyeballs out of their sockets at first sight. Play it safe, wear your Varnays. Varnays being one of my favorite sunglasses back in the day. This is a great color combination for Kuwahara. They really splashed some color on their bikes. The split personality, Dave Cullinan, Factory Kuwahara Racer, and then Cullinan, the Cullinan Man, aka Dave Cullinan, the Destroyer, and the BMXA Trasher, BMXA kit there. So both kits look pretty sick. I'm gonna lean towards the BMX Action one though. This is really, really cool. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Oh, check out the CW Racing ad for 1986. This is really cool. I love this one. More on the Kuwahara over here. And this was intended for 12 and up racing, road and flogging. The total bike costs $199, and this is what the kit's going to look like. So not bad. I mean, for 199 bucks, you get a decent race bike, which is very easy to. It's very, very easy to upgrade this bike. By the way, the colors are fantastic. Love it. Great CW ad. The awesome BMX movie Rad is coming this spring. What? You can be part of Rad Racing Team. Enter our sweepstakes, and you could win one of the following: 10 official Rad jackets, 25 Rad T-shirts, 25 Rad tennis shoes, 100 Rad posters, 100 Rad collectible stickers. Oh, they're going to release this. It's going to be Rad Day. I think it's next month. So we're going to be able to go see Rad next month in the movie theater, and I believe it's in March. I want to say it's the 17th, but don't quote me on that, guys. I'd have to go back and look at it. But I got something on Facebook. I go every year and rewatch Rad when they release it in the theater. It's a lot of fun to see it over there. Oh, look at this. Toby says he's deleted himself from SE and is talking heavily with Schwinn. Wow, that's strange. I never knew that. It says here everyone is hitting up Schwinn for a ride. Mike Polson is supposedly over his shoulder injuries and back on his bike. Meanwhile, it looks like they may be picking up another pro. This year, Toby Henderson is the odds-on favorite. Jameson Hendler, which I know he ended up going there, and Lawing Cunningham returned for 1986. Kuwahara, the new Kuwahara team, at this point stands with Daryl Young, Dana Griffin, Dave Cullinan, Ronnie Rio, and Chad Henderson. Possibly more to come. Quote of the month: I'm going to look like Punky Brewster this year. I want to stand out. Mike Miranda. Referring to his new Hutch uniform. Punky Brewster grew up to be super hot. Just saying. All right, we got Rockville BMX, and then, of course, Hanter Freestyle Company here. They got a nice looking bike here. BMX 2-speed conversion kit from Power Twin X2. Never heard of that, but you can see it's got 2 gears on it. That's pretty cool. BMX Action Sweepstakes with the CW team here, and we got First Class BMX, $15.50 for 12 killer issues. Ooh, great for the pedal picker. We got Woody Itzen here doing the pedal picker for Hutch. Look at the colors, guys. Look at the colors. Everything's got the same theme going on here. This is really, really cool and reminiscent of what things look like in 1986. We got some more ads here. I'll just keep on going. Oh, I got the BMX Action gear here, Freestyling Magazine, Skate Central, and the Bike Gallery. And guys, we're coming to the end. We got a great ad for Skyway Recreation, the street freestyler. No racing to be found anywhere on here. Skyway was going in one direction at that point. And finally, the outtakes. Great shot here. It's bound to happen. No stupid stunts, no munch, no crunches, no flub ups. So we once again are forced to open that great cool photos that we didn't know what else to do with file and come up with Radster Matthew Harris breaking sound barriers. That was awesome. Guys, that was a great magazine. So we did it. That's BMX Action. And we did April 1986 today. That was a great one. Sorry I went really, really fast, 35 minutes. But I got to get back to work, guys. No more time for play. We'll be doing a race video next week, guys. So stay tuned. We did really well in the last race video. I think we're over 700 on that. We're doing great on the subscriber count. We're about 825, I believe, last count. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber count goal of mine. I appreciate all the support and comments that I've been seeing. Please like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.